everyone, I'm the Omniscient Narrator, and today we are doing another video. This one is going to be a bookish update video since it's been like 5 to 6 months since my last video. I went on a hiatus. It was mostly just like I got really busy because I moved twice in the last 6 months. I've had a lot of health things going on. I've had a lot of like school things going on because I am currently studying creative writing. I'm getting a master's and I am loving it. If you saw my last video that I posted like half a year ago, I am a writer and I had just finished my first draft of my novel right before I moved the first time. So yeah, now I'm here studying this and I am so happy by it. It was really hard at first moving so far away from my family, but I have found my place, I have found my people, and I'm so much happier now. Yeah, so that's my big life update. With my writing, which I just mentioned, I am currently on my third draft of my book, which is so exciting. My second draft, I actually did all by hand, because I just did basic little, like, line edits, and now for this third draft, I'm having other people read it, and I'm adding major things based off, like, feedback I've received just so far, even just from, like, the concept of my thing. They're like, for one of my classes yesterday, I, like, presented my concept, and I was like, yeah, there's subtle LGBTQ, like, mentions, and they were like, make it less subtle. And I was like, why? And they explained to me why. Because I was like, I just want it to be normalized in my fantasy world. I don't want it to be the whole focus of the book. And they're like, no, make it less subtle. And I'm like, okay, I have ideas. So that's part of my work I'm going to try to do today, is add that into my book. But yeah, I'm on my third draft. It's so fun. It's so exciting. And so now I'm going to update you guys with the books I have finished reading since moving to the UK, which happened in the mid part of September. These are the 5 that I've actually finished. I'm currently reading a 6th. So the first one that I finished, I actually had to read for class. It is The Whalebone Theatre by Joanna Quinn. So this book is set in the UK in, like, I think it's set in Devon, which is where I am living. And it follows this girl named Christabel. It is from her childhood, from when she's about 4 until sometime in her, like, 20s to early 30s. And so the main focus of the book is her experience during World War II and how she wants to fight for her country. And so it's really her experience through that, but also her experience through her life with her half-siblings, her technically cousin, who she treats like a sibling, and all of that. And it is really good. I cried. Here's my markings of, like, things I liked. Because, yeah, I read it for class, but I didn't mark it based off of, like, I need to know this for class. I marked it based off of, like, I liked this quote. So that's that book. Next up, we have In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado, a nonfiction memoir, and it is about Machado's experience with queer abuse in a relationship. And so it was a really interesting read. Some people told me in my class it took them like 2 sittings to finish this. It took me a bit more, but like also it was like just a time thing for me. If I had more time, I probably would have finished it in 2 sittings too. Here's some of my sticky marks. They're all near the end. And we actually have a whole page at the top that we liked. Next we have Country Christie by Agatha Christie. At the bottom it says 12 Devonshire Mysteries. They're not all Devonshire though. Some of them are set in Cornwall, so this little like tagline at the bottom really confuses me. But so I bought this at Waterstones. This is like the first book I bought since moving to this country. And what drew me to it is the gorgeous cover, because it's not even a book sleeve, and it's hardcover. It's hardcover and it's not even a book sleeve. It's printed right onto it and it's gorgeous. And then I saw it was Agatha Christie, who's my favorite author, and I was like, I gotta get it. And I looked at the price and it's 15 quid, and I was like, I'm getting it. So this is 12 short stories from a mixture of different Christie characters, mostly Hercule Poirot. I don't know if I said that right, but that's fine. And like Miss Marple and a bunch of other characters I haven't heard of, but I really enjoyed. The reason I started reading this is because like I needed a short story to present to my class, and I was like, well, this is a perfect excuse to read this book. So I did it, and I loved it so much. Next up, this one is a classic, and I know it's a bit childish, but I loved it. It is Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne? I don't know if I said that right, but it's fine. But I read Winnie the Pooh. Oh my goodness. It was so heartwarming. It was so nice. It made me so happy. This one took me about 2 to 3 sittings. Because it is an easy book, because it is for children, but it was so nice. It brought me back to my childhood, and it was an easy read, so it was nice. I loved it. I had a great time. So my next book is, my next and final book I finished since moving here is The Sacred Space Between by Kaylee Reed. It follows these two characters. The main one is Maeve. She's an iconographer in her fantasy world for the Abbey, and she is about to become lead iconographer. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's fine. And in order to secure her space as that, she has to go and paint this exiled saint called Jude. So she goes, meets Jude, and it's a romantasy, so they start falling in love. And this is my first romantasy, which is crazy for me. I can get all into my romantasy thoughts, but check out my TikTok for that. And yeah, it was a really great read. And eventually, like I said, they fall in love, but it's a romantasy, so you kind of knew that. And they, Jude teaches Maeve about the world and reveals secrets to her about it. But it is a really good read. It is dual POV, so you get both Maeve and Jude's POV. And like when I first started, like when Jude's first POV came up, besides the prologue, I was like, I just want more Maeve. And then the more I went on, I was like, oh, I want Maeve, but I also want Jude, but I also want Maeve. And it was great. It was a really good read. I really enjoyed it. So the reason I read this book is because I am writing an essay for my class about saints as seen in fantasy worlds, because I am also writing a piece like that. And so these are all mentions that are like vaguely Catholic, because I'm looking specifically at Catholic saints. So that's this book. So my current read is Holy Wrath by Victoria Meyer. It is another romantasy book. I'm reading it for the same reason I read Sacred Space Between. I have lots of thoughts about this book, so I will be making a full review video on it. And so basically it follows this girl named Ophelia. She, in her fantasy world, is waiting for her sainting, which is basically when a saint chooses someone to have power of the mysteries, which is basically magic. And it doesn't happen to everyone, but Ophelia really wants it because she's a cripple, and she has no status, and she is just convinced that this is the only way her life will be able to amount to anything. And so, she's waiting for this, she's desperately hoping for this. And then one day a high ecclesia, which is basically like the closest thing you can get to God on earth in this world, at least in my opinion, that's how I'm viewing it. There are like, hey, yeah, we need you to go care, 'cause she's a healer, we need you to go care and heal for this person called Lupa Nox, which is like her city's greatest, her community's greatest enemy. She's part of the, I'm gonna mispronounce this even though there's pronunciation guide in this. She's part of the Sepulchre? I don't know. And she's like their biggest, greatest knight. And they start to feel, how I can describe it as lust. Maybe they fall in love later, I don't know, but right now it's very lustful for each other. Yeah, it's a really good book. Like I said, I have lots of thoughts about it, so I will be making a full-blown video on this. And then my final update is, I kind of hinted at this before, actually I blatantly said this before, but I have started a book talk and a bookstagram. I will link those down below so you can check them out, and yeah, I'm having a great time with them. I'm going to be uploading way more on there than I will be uploading on here. I'm actually currently recording on my phone to do a behind the scenes video, so like all my bloopers and stuff, you will see it on my book talk, in my bookstagram, because I will also upload it to my bookstagram. So yeah, give me a follow on those. Like I said, I'll link those down below, and I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!